Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mike Jackson.
I'm Egypy Sherrod,
and we are Married to Real Estate. Yeah. From HGTV and Discovery Plus every Thursday, 9 p.m.
And 8 Central, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I am excited to interview you guys. I am Ms. J with InStyle Atlanta. And before we get into your new show, Married to Real Estate, let's talk about your relationship and how you guys actually met for the first time, because it was a unique way as to how you guys met. And now you have been blossoming into a 17-year relationship and marriage.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We always say it was a previous life.
Okay.
The first time we met, I was working as a radio personality in New York City, and he was a DJ in New York City. And so, my mentor told me many moons ago, girl, if you want to have longevity in this business, don't date these men. Don't mess with these men. So as fine as I thought he was not giving him my number.
But 17 years later, here we are, right? Well, you don't be trying to block your blessings. Anyway, yeah, she was very jaded, wouldn't give me time of day. So there was a time where she was on her roof trying to fix a hole and she fell through.
It wasn't my roof, it was an investment property.
An investment property.
Yeah.
So the previous crew that she had was let go.
I let them go. Wait, listen, never fire one team unless you have another one.
Okay.
So the call comes in and my team shows up, and unbeknownst to me, there she is on the roof, not realizing that I was the gentleman that she was being jaded with and wouldn't give the time of day. So
I didn't realize it. I knew it was you. I know you. I was just like, what is he doing here? He's a DJ. DJ fixing my house. And then I didn't know he was a contractor.
Full-on contractor, legit contractor that actually does the work, not just a DJ that says he knows how to do some construction. So I get there, we fix everything up for her, and here we are, 17 years later.
Yeah, girl, he looked good in the tool belt. I was like, oh,
tool belt for me. Look.
Yes, a man that can do something.
Let me fix something in your life.
Look, what can you rearrange for me and fix, okay? How do you guys keep this spark going after 17 years? You guys have 3 beautiful daughters together and you run multiple businesses.
Yeah. So how do we keep this spark going, babe?
To be honest with you, for me, I just look at her. She's there's never not been a day where I don't see her getting dressed or something. I'm like, oh, she can get it. She can get it.
We see that on the show. You say that to her a couple of times on the show as well.
But one of the things I say a lot is, spontaneity and keeping it fun, which we do. We're very adventurous, where we do a lot of things. We did. I was going to say parasailing. We did parasailing. We've jumped out of planes. We've done ATVing in Mexico.
I was pregnant when we jumped out of an airplane. Now, mind y'all, I'm a responsible mom. I did not know.
Okay. I was gonna say Egypt.
So yeah, I was pregnant. I must have been just 5 or 6 weeks pregnant with Kendall, our 10-year-old.
Okay.
And I found out the day after we jumped out because I just couldn't come back from the air pressure. I'm like, that was horrible. I'm sick. And they were like, no, baby, you're pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But no, I think
what would you add to it?
I would say keeping it fun. We laugh a lot. You can tell from the show. We laugh at each other a lot. We bust each other's chops.
Yes.
He talks about my toes. I talk about his ashy knees. So we laugh.
You have to be able to do that with your significant other.
Keep God first. That's a definite. He's in the mix of it all. And we have a great support system when it comes to each of our families. They all get along, so that makes it work, and that's big in relationships. We just make sure we continue to love on each other and date as well.
Awesome.
Don't just be lost in parenthood or the jobs to where we don't have a relationship anymore. So I think those things keep us going.
Okay, awesome. Is it difficult for you guys to be a couple in the public eye, or you guys just kind of go with the flow and just manage it how you want to and make you guys happy?
I mean, I know we're in the public eye, but it doesn't really feel like we're in the public eye. We're just we're out here in our own world with our family and running our businesses. Oh, by the way, we're on TV.
Right.
Oh yeah. I think it is this world where everybody's on social media. It feels like everyone is in the public eye. Everybody's a star. You get a star, you get a star, you get a star. So no, we're just doing what we love with the person that we love and making our family work. And it was crazy is right at the beginning when it became real that we were having a show, Miss J. we said, look, how's this going to affect our kids, you know, having cameras here with them, you know, in this COVID world. And, you know, we just had to lay down some laws and lay down some rules. And we also promised each other that if ever it came between our marriage, or if ever it started to affect our kids negatively, we just won't do it. We just won't do it, because after all of this exciting ride that we're on, we still have to be us, the Jackson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you guys you both wear many hats. You guys, like you just said, you were in radio, DJing, all of that. How was the transition, or what was that pivotal moment for you to decide that you wanted to transition from that entertainment world over into real estate?
Well, I
still DJ worldwide, literally.
Okay.
As the positions come in, but they have to make sense now. You know, it's not just every club gig. It's not just it has to make sense financially and, you know, schedule wise, time wise.
Absolutely.
So that's still there. You know, my wife, real estate, design, that's there. I don't know if she'll ever do radio, but I believe if the right thing comes along, you still. Let me tell you why. Because she inspires so many people when she gets on that microphone. So I think if it showed itself, it would be right. Anyway, go.
Is that the final answer?
That's the final answer.
Okay. So I was on the radio and I had a wonderful career for almost 20 years between Baltimore and Philly and New York and Atlanta, but everything has a season.
Absolutely.
And so I was ready for something new. For me, I became a real estate broker also when I was in my 20s. So I was working dual careers. Many people know, like, all right, I would be on the radio in the morning and then I was showing houses at night, but that was also my passion. So this is not a new passion. It's just that I finally decided to bet on myself. And I said, look, the money is there in real estate for me. I'm doing fantastic. I have these shows that are helping me brand my business. It's now or never, you know, and we all are going to hopefully, you know, if you're doing something worthwhile, get to this point in your life where you say, am I going to continue to look for the safety net, or am I going to leap to see if I can fly? And I'm flying, baby.
I was gonna say you are soaring through the sky. Okay.
So with that said, it's not that I don't enjoy radio, and I appreciate the listeners and, you know, all the love, because it's afforded me this opportunity. But I'm running multiple businesses and 3 children right now, and trying to keep a waistline.
Yes. So look, join the club, sis, because I am trying to get my waistline together as well. Okay. So I completely understand where you're coming from. I just have 1, you have 3, so I can only imagine how.
Right.
And I was one of your listeners here in Atlanta. I actually ran into you when you were looking to support the Atlanta Children's Shelter, because I was working there at the time. So it's all coming full circle now. Yes.
Look at that. Wow.
Yes. That was I think that was like 2013, possibly, when I ran into you when you were there. So thank you for all of your philanthropic work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And so this brings me to my next question. You guys are taking over. You talking about flying. You guys have been taking over HGTV. You guys have property versions, flipping versions, and now we are going into Married to Real Estate. So now my next question is for you guys. What is different about this show from the other previous shows that we've seen you guys on HGTV?
I think we just turned the camera around, because when Property Virgins was my first opportunity. And it was already a hit show with another host in another country, and they just brought it to the States. And I saw the writing on the wall. Every show comes to an end. So then I said, well, let me show them what I was really doing, which was flipping houses. And we'll just do a spinoff called Flipping Virgins, where I got to, you know, be one of the executive producers for 3 seasons. And then we had been saying all along, while I was doing Flipping Virgins, Mike was there helping me flip the houses. Mike was, you know, doing the work. I'm like, why don't we include him? Like, come on, bring Mike on camera.
Bring my man on.
But for some reason, you know, and I guess maybe it was because they felt he didn't have broadcast experience, but the regime at that time didn't see the value that I saw. Like, we saw this years ago. And then now Discovery Networks owns HGTV. They own Food Network. They own everything.
Right.
But they also really get it in a big way. And the powers that be at the top understand family. They understand inclusion and diversity. And so it's just a beautiful, perfect relationship in divine time, because we're now at a space where our businesses have grown. Our girls are old enough that we can, stretch a little bit. Maybe back then wasn't God's time. So we're accepting that right now is the perfect time. And the only thing we did different from Flipping Virgins is turn the camera around.
Right.
Okay.
and welcome y'all into our dirty house.
Well, it also seems to be a noisy house, because we saw in the first episode where Mike was sleeping on the couch because you and your daughter, you guys were keeping him up with the snoring. The baby, you said she had her toe in your nose. Like, are you getting more sleep now?
I gave birth to the Kung Fu Panda.
Oh my God. Listen, Harper Sky is a boss baby of the house. We just live here and whatever she says, But to also add to my wife's statement and your question, our show is just a different format. You see an entire family building businesses that they already had, and ultimately, will they ever join forces and make it one conglomerate under one umbrella, right? So we brought in her Uncle Mark. We have our cousin David. You get to see our mothers, you get to see the whole shebang.
My design team.
It's real estate, design, construction, life. It's an amazing format, which 51 Minds, the production company, came on board with. Like my wife said, they get it. It's an amazing ride, and it's the feedback has been great.
Yeah, our production company, 51 Minds, they've done a lot of hit shows. Most notably, people would probably remember T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they did a really good job with showing that family unit, which is why we were excited to work with them, because it was like, listen, if we're going to let cameras in our house and to our family, we don't want to be what you think we are.
Right.
We want to be who we are.
Who we are, exactly.
They totally get that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the show more relatable for the viewers, because we get to see who you are authentically, without trying to be someone else for the camera. So I love it. I personally am inspired by your love. Hopefully my Mr. Right will come along and we can build our own empire together. But how has the pandemic affected you guys and your business, if it has at all?
For him, it's been good.
It's actually affected it in a positive way. People have been sitting at home looking at that little crack on the wall saying, I need to be doing some renovation. Look at this light. I want to change that. So the calls have been nonstop since the pandemic. And not only that, out of the pandemic, the show was birthed, to be honest with you. The idea of just putting something together and speaking our minds on a show we did called Ask Anything, where we
social media.
Social media. We just turned the camera on and said, let's talk, ask us anything and we'll answer it. And in that, my wife sent it over to management. They said there was something there. Let's send it up the pike. And here we are, so I don't think it affected us in a negative way at all.
Yeah. Well, in the real estate business, obviously, there's just like no housing inventory. Everybody's competing for the same few houses. It feels like we have the smallest inventory we've had in years. Yeah. So the pandemic has affected my business that way negatively. There's a lot of people out buying. There's just not anything to buy. But that's also, that's part of the game. I've been in this business forever, and I've watched the market go up and down and up and down. And so it's cyclical. So I'm just waiting for it. Hey, y'all, wait for it to drop.
I was going to say, do you see it dropping anytime soon? Because I have not purchased my first home yet, but I'm in I'll keep looking just to see what's out there, get an idea for it. And I've definitely seen an inflation in prices within the last year or two.
Yeah.
So do you guys see it dropping within the next year or two?
It's interesting. I don't have a crystal ball, but we talk about this a lot, and I listen to the economists and what have you. I think there's a perfect storm brewing, and I could be wrong, but there are a lot of people during the pandemic who went into forbearance on their mortgages. Some people who didn't have to and should not have, but took advantage of the opportunity. And now all of those loans are coming due. So what happens when people don't have that money saved to pay it? Right. Some things happen and they just can't catch up. I foresee, and again, I could be wrong, probably coming by third or fourth quarter, there's going to be a lot of foreclosures happening. And so that makes it available to have more inventory to purchase potentially out there. But what a lot of folks don't realize is when they're out here bidding and there's nothing to get, is because these corporations, these institutions are buying them up. All these cash offers are coming from corporations. The goal is to make everybody a renter by 2030. Don't let it happen. If you're selling a house, sell to a family.
There you go. There you go. Look, a family like me, the first time home buyers, we want houses too. We want to be a part of the wealth. What are some other businesses that you guys run, and how important was it for you to have multiple streams of income?
You know, multiple streams of income is, it's kind of what we're taught about creating passive, income for yourself. And so he's got his.
So like I mentioned, I still have my company, which is for the DJing aspect. It's called Lux Sound Entertainment, where we literally do everything from DJs, photographers, videographers, and so on. That's still being ran. We have Jackson Draper Renovations. That's the construction. My uncle and I run that business. He's the project manager, and obviously I'm the CEO of it, right? I'm also a brand ambassador and business partner for Ovation for Men. So Ovation is a cologne, Black-owned business that is doing phenomenal right now. It's a grassroots niche market, and we're doing amazing, so we have those things going on.
And then so I run the Egypy Sherrod Real Estate Group, which we've now branched out into Egypy Sherrod Real Estate and Design Group. Our goal is to take his company, his renovation, and my group, and we're merging it on our show into one huge design house, like a one-stop shop. So that's the big baby project right now. I still have my voiceover company, and then Ignite Joy is a power passion project of mine. If you go to ignitewithegypt.com, you'll see I have the 90-day alignment planner, which was also birthed during that experience of the pandemic. And every time I get them in, I sell them out. They come out, I can't keep them, which is wonderful, but it's my motivational empowerment platform. So we have a lot of irons in the fire, but really what keeps it going is a love for it and an authenticity for it. Nothing that we're doing is strictly for the money. Nothing that we're doing is for fame. It's really all for family and for the love of it. And are we living our truth?
Right.
He feels like I could do it all. I'll DJ at night and build houses during the day.
Why not?
I mean, that's literally what I've been doing for an extremely long time. I started in the construction business with my grandfather and uncle when I was, 12 years old. They were like, come on, let's go onto this site. Back then it wasn't illegal for that age to be on a construction site. Now you have to be 18 and up to actually do anything. So I learned then, but I DJ'd my first wedding when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
So I was doing both always. It's just the fact that now the public gets to see that, oh, he's a full-on construction guy. Like, he knows how to build his butt off. Okay.
What advice would you guys give to a first-time home buyer? And we already talked about this, if it's a good time to buy a house. So you were saying, Egypt, for us to wait a second, see what happens to the market. But what is some advice that you would give to someone who's looking to buy their first home?
Yay. All right. So here's what I'll say. I also said I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. And one thing real estate has done for the past 20 years is surprise us with the unexpected. So last time we had a collapse in the real estate market, Atlanta, where we live, wasn't as affected as the rest of the country. And so there are pockets, there are cities that will not be as affected simply because it's always a place folks want to live. And it's also about who lives there. What are they doing? Is it really entrepreneurial based? Are people, are they wealthy on their own because they run their own businesses, or, everything's digital, in which case it tends, whenever we have some catastrophe in the world, anybody whose business is based in digital tends to do better, not worse. So, so with that said, if the bottom falls out of the market, like I predict, I shouldn't say bottom fall out. If we start to see more foreclosures, which means more inventory, which means it levels the playing field, right? For buyers by the end of this year, I don't see a situation happening like what happened back in 2010, in 2011, right? In 2012. I don't see that sort of situation happening. So is it still a good time to buy real estate? Absolutely, because no matter what, it'll fluctuate, but it still always goes up. I mean, we've had many dips in the real estate, industry over the last 40 years, but guess what? Is real estate the same amount as it was 40 years ago? By no means.
Absolutely not.
10 times as much. So there will be dips and opportunities to get in and buy for lower, but ultimately it's going to always continue to go up, because the one thing they're never making more of is earth.
Right. So this is true.
Get you some earth. Get you a piece of earth.
And then what advice would you guys give to viewers who are interested in rehabbing and flipping their homes?
To viewers,
rehabbing or flipping, because those are two different things.
Right.
Budget properly. Pay attention to the market, and inflation is going on heavily because of it. Because of inflation, pay attention to it. Meaning materials are way up.
Yeah,
so when you go to budget your renovation, be mindful of the materials you choose, the way you want it to be laid out, because that's all going to play a big ticket in your budget.
Yeah, you got to be realistic as well. And you know what I would say is have your plan A, your plan B, and your plan C. Meaning when you're figuring out designs, if you're doing a big renovation, this is your dream design. This is the if I can't afford my dream design, and this is the get real. You got Kool-Aid money design. So, but have all your different plans. That way, when contractors are quoting them out, you know where you can kind of tweak.
Yeah. And understand that because materials have went up, so have the price in those contractors.
Yeah.
So don't get caught into cutting corners because you know what, everybody's charging too much, because you want to do it right the first time.
Yeah, they're not charging much. They're just charging you the real cost.
The real price.
You pay for Uncle Bobby to do it because he knows how to do handiwork. You're going to pay more when somebody else has to come back and rip his stuff down and do it the right way. Okay?
Okay, we'll keep that in mind as far as budgeting goes. Thank you guys for that tip. Recently, your oldest daughter, Kendall, she got her first investment property down in Florida. Can you tell us about that moment and why it was important to pass down your real estate knowledge to her and to all your children?
You know, that was very organic the way it happened with Kendall. She out of our children so far, Harper just turned 3, so she's a little too young. Simone, our eldest, she's in college. She's away in college in Paris right now. So Kendall's home up under us, and she hears my phone conversations with clients. She hears him talking to his team, and she asks questions. She wants to know, Mommy, what is a mortgage? You know, Mommy, but I don't understand why you were telling them about credit. What is credit? I don't understand. And so, you know, as parents, when our children ask us questions, I think where we win is when we actually take the time to explain it to them right. Don't just blow it off because it's like you don't get it. They can retain more information than we realize, and they're resilient. And if we start planting seeds now that can grow into this beautiful, confident tree,
absolutely, let's do it.
So Kendall at 9, you know, wanted to know. So I said to Mike, when is the right time to really, you know, teach her? And then we ultimately decided now's the right time. If she's interested, she's asking questions the same way in school. They're teaching them a million things that they'll never have to use in their life. When they come home, we can actually tailor make an education about real life things that our kids need to know. So she wants to know what credit is. Let's tell her, so she'll be prepared. She wants to understand a mortgage. Let's do this. Let's take her through the home buying process. And that's what we did. We decided to get her first investment property. Any parent can do this. The important thing to know is kids under the age of 18 cannot convey title. So you never want to put the house in the child's name unless they are close to being 18, because then they can't sell it if something happens. So the way to do it is create a trust, and then you can assign the property in the trust to the child. So that's how we did it with Kendall. She now owns at age 10 a 5-bedroom, 4-bath villa, approximately 12 minutes from Disney. And you know, it pays for itself and gives her dividends that she can use toward another investment property or to pay off her own college, even though we already got that covered. But she could. So that's how we're creating generational wealth, by empowering our kids about finances and giving them the real information as if they were 20.
Absolutely.
That way it won't be, you know, it won't be something they fear when they get older.
Yes, that is a beautiful thing. Mike, did you want to add on to that as well?
Well, the only thing I would say, because you asked why is it important, I think it's important because there was a point in time where you were not allowed to own or know about property, you know? So I think, why don't we continue to instill in our kids and future generations that it's important? Because like my wife said, why don't you know about real estate in elementary school? Why not? Financing, credit, why not? Because it's being taught in other places. You know, there point in time where, which still exists, redlining, you know?
Absolutely, yes.
Because we could not, we should now continue the education and leave legacies.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm actually from Evanston. I don't know if you guys heard, but they're the first city in the nation to offer reparations to their residents.
Wow.
And so my family, I didn't realize it at the time, but we were all redlined to one certain part of the city. And my mom even shared with me that my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, she found a house on the south side of the city, but she had to actually put that house on a flatbed truck and move it to the north side of the city because that was the only place or area that Black people could live. So I'm very familiar with the redlining. So I appreciate you guys taking that time to inform your kids and educate them as to all of that history that, you know, Black people unfortunately have to face and we're still currently facing. Yeah. So thank you guys for that.
Absolutely. Listen, our goal should be to leave legacy, not generate, excuse me. I put us on do not disturb, but our goal should be to leave legacy, not debt. That's how we win. Yes. Because we may not be able to accomplish, you know, some huge financial dream in our own lifetime, but we can certainly work toward it. We can certainly set our kids up for it and then teach them how to set their kids up for it so that, you know, if we're not trust fund baby generation, you know, that the next generation is a trust fund baby generation, like, you know, like some other communities. And we can do that. And this is Black History Month. Let's be Black history right
Absolutely.
now. Today.
Yeah. We're creating it. You are absolutely correct. All right. One more question for you guys before we get out of here. How can our viewers, i.e. myself, book you guys for your services?
So JacksonDraperRenovations.com. Okay. So to be honest with you, the calls have not stopped coming in since the show has aired. They were coming in before, but they are nonstop now, which we appreciate. It's a blessing. And we're trying to get to each and every one of you, right?
Okay.
Outside of business, personally, I can be contacted on IG, DJ Fadel, DJ FADELF. And take it from there, baby.
Okay. Egypt Sherrod Real Estate Group.com. Egypt Sherrod Real Estate, Egypt Sherrod Real Estate.com. But my business is the Egypt Sherrod Real Estate Group. On Insta and everything else, it's Egypt Sherrod. And I'm happy to help you. If you're looking for a house or you have a house to sell, happy to help you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I wish you nothing but continued success. Everyone, please tune in every Thursday, 9/8 Central on HGTV to watch Married to Real Estate. Thank you guys again. And I will be reaching out sometime next year when I go ahead and start purchasing my home.
She's ready. Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes. We appreciate it. Tell everyone over there with your staff.
Thank you.
I sure will. Thank you guys. And you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.